Hi there. Okay, this is going to be video number 49, but video number 11 of module 3. And in this one we're going to talk about the Ichimoku. Alright, Ichimoku Hayokinku. Okay, I think that's how you pronounce it. And that's what it looks like. Alright, so you can just go ahead and choose your templates. Alright, and then choose the last one down here at the bottom. Alright, and you should get something similar to what we have here. I'm using the 4-hour time frame. Alright, and what I'm trying to do is simplify the Ichimoku for the average user, because you see quite a lot of information on the charts and it's quite hard, you know, just from a quick glance of what it's actually trying to say. You have to look at different areas of this particular indicator before you can make any judgment calls. Alright, so what we're going to try and do is try and be brief with this video, and then we'll use other strategies later on, you know, do a little bit more advanced as we move along. Alright, so what we're looking for essentially is the accelerator oscillator, alright, and we're looking for the vertical scale, okay, which is that area right there, and we're looking for a breakout right here. Now this breakout, as you might recall from one of the other videos that we did in module 2, that the Ichimoku, when this breaks the cloud right here, is called the Kumu breakout. Kumu, which is K-U-M-O. Kumu, if that's how you pronounce it. Okay. And you normally go long on the next bar. Alright, but sometimes that doesn't always work well in their favor. I mean, you can see here where this red bar, which is a bear bar, alright, a down bar, when this one breaks out of the cloud, and if we were to go short on the next candle, as it's sometimes, you know, advised to do on a Kumo breakout, it goes back up. Now, why did it go back up? Well, the reason why it went back up is because of the equilibrium level. Okay. And the market always tends to come back down to an equilibrium level. There's two equilibrium levels. Alright, there's one on that blue line and there's one on the clouds. Alright, it doesn't matter what color the clouds are, alright, but it just needs to be in a very straight line. Okay, so it's normally this red line that indicates areas in the market for it to bounce off. Okay. So that's why that market there jumped and went back the other way. That's why it didn't follow through. If the Kumo cloud was down here, then you might have seen this candle come down to the bottom here. Alright, but sometimes you might forget all about the Kumo, so it's nice to have a second indicator to give you basically a heads up. Alright, so what we're looking for here is preferably the first bar above the vertical scale, and it needs to be an upwards bar. Alright, it needs to be above the vertical scale, because anything above the vertical scale is an indication of a price increase. Okay, so here we have that Kumo break, but we also see an equilibrium level there as well. However, with that equilibrium level there, it's still a buy signal because we're sitting on a support. This sell signal down here didn't work because it was sitting on a support also, and you don't want to take sell signals on support levels. Alright, but also we get this confirmation here with the accelerator oscillator letting us know it's okay to go and jump in on this one. Alright, so we go in on the next bar, so this will be our alert bar and this will be our entry bar, and then we can target maybe the top of the Kumo here, or maybe the next previous high. Okay, now these entries, when they come in, they're very few and far between. You don't really see them all the time. However, you do see them sometimes when you see, like, let's take a look. I'm not sure if that is actually on. There we go. See where this one breaks out, you see this one actually lines up with that red bar below the vertical scale, and you might feel that would have been okay to enter if you hadn't known about the equilibrium level. okay, and then you'll be, banging your head against the wall saying it doesn't work because, you made a loss. Well, it's not the case that it didn't work, the strategy doesn't work. It's the case that you may have missed out a step. Alright, so we need to go back to the drawing board. So what I tend to do is look only for maybe the first bar as my main goal to look at, and then the second bar as an extra clarification should this bar here be over this side. So for instance, if this bar here where I've got my pen drawer out, if this bar here, if it was breaking, let's say it came down and it broke there, that's fine. But if it didn't break there and it just came down towards the edge of that cloud, but the next bar it did, then I might consider this bar as a point to get in. So you have to use a little bit of common sense, a little bit of a bit of initiative, get to understand the surroundings, and if everything rings true for you, then it should be okay. Alright, here is another cell signal. Alright, now this cell signal here happens, I believe, on the second bar. Let's just take that off and get my crosshair tool out. There you go. It happens on the second bar. This one here has a little wick down it. Now let me just zoom in, but I'm going to put a marker right there so I don't lose my position like I have done in other videos. Alright, then I'm going to go and zoom in and find that marker. There it is. Just going to take that marker off. Alright, so you can see how the wick came down below the cloud, but the body didn't actually penetrate below the cloud. This is very important. Okay, always make sure that the closes below the cloud for a short signal, and ensuring that it actually lines up with the awesome oscillator, but it needs to be, the bar of the awesome oscillator needs to be below the 00 level. Now if it doesn't close below, then take a look at the next candle, and then it does. So those are kind of like your two areas. If it falls onto the third one, ignore it. Just worry about the first two. See, the closer that you get in on the trade at the beginning of the bars, the better. Alright, because sometimes you will see 3, 4 or 5 bars in a row, and then it will start to change colour and go, and then you'll see the market either go sideways and go up a little bit. It might not retrace the full extension that it came down, but it may go up a little bit, like a FIBO retracement of 38.2 or something, and then can keep on coming back down again. Alright, but in this particular instance it didn't, and it kept on going back up, and we had a FIBO extension. So let's just zoom out on that, and let's see if we can find some buy signals. And then buy signals are pretty hard to find. Now here's one right here, but unfortunately this is where the first breakout is. Well, at least it pokes its head out of the top part of the cloud. Alright, I'm not sure if you can see that, but I'm just going to zoom in. And you can see it actually closes above the cloud, but the accelerator oscillator is still below the 00 level, so I'm going to ignore that. Then you look at the next one and you think, oh okay, well this one's actually opened and closed above the cloud, so this must mean something pretty good. Alright, and then it says here, down here, not to enter that trade. Now you can see that, as it goes up, it did eventually come back down, so it was kind of telling you not to get in straight away, because there is potential of it coming back down again pretty soon. Alright, so you really want to wait for the elevator to come to you. Alright, and say, jump on board, it's time to collect your checks, so to speak. Okay, so play around with that strategy, alright, and see how you get on. I would at least play around with it for about 2 to 3 days so you get a good understanding of how to use it. Does it work on smaller time frames? Well, I don't really like using smaller time frames, as we all know, and this one was actually done on the Euro 4-hour time frame, so my only best option is for you to go ahead and try it and see if you can actually do some back testing and stuff like that, to see if what works on the 4-hour also works on, say, like the 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute and 1 hour. And then if it doesn't, see if you can understand a way of how to make that signal work for you. Alright, and then you might be telling me, saying, well hey, I was just supposed to be teaching us how to create our signals and this, that and the other. Well, I've given you an idea of how to find that signal, the first rule, Alright, and that rule can be applied to all of the time frames. Now let's just give you one quick little example. Let's go to the 5-minute time frame. You can see how the rules will still apply. Alright, here is the first up bar here, and you can see it does break above, and it does go up a little bit. It goes up 4 pips. Is that 4 pips? Yeah, it goes up 4 pips. Alright, so you know it does work on smaller time frames, but again you need to be a little bit more cautious and then say to yourself, well, hang on a minute, didn't Loz say that this can also be used as an area where it might reverse? Yes, it does. This is another cloud. These are, you know, precautionary areas as well. Alright, okay, so give that a go, see how you get on, and I will see you very soon in the next video. Bye for now.